What's up guys, Simply Coco here and welcome back to my channel for yet another speed build. So this is a Japanese inspired home and it's the first installment of a new series that I'm going to be doing on my channel called Homes Around the World. So basically I'm going to take homes that you would see in different countries and recreate them in The Sims. So obviously, like I said, we're doing Japan right now. I was at first going to call this a at first I was going to call this an Asian inspired home, but Asia is the continent, and that's so broad because there's so many other countries within Asia that have a very different, architectural and home styles. Like there's India and there's China and there's all these other, I think Dubai is in Asia. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But like there's so many other things. So I decided to take it country by country. So today, like I said, we're doing Japan. I would actually say this is probably more Chinese inspired. But in The Sims, there's only so much I can do. But the build that I'm going to be doing for my Chinese build, there'll be like a more clear difference between the two. So even if they're like similar in like their decorations and stuff, the build itself will be the you'll be able to see the difference in Japan and China. So it went by really quickly, but I've done the exterior. As you can see, the landscaping is very colorful, very pretty. Now I've moved on to the interior. A lot of reference photos of Japan-style homes that I saw on Pinterest had like these indoor succulent garden type things. So that's what I went for right there at the entrance to the house. This is the living room. I did split level it. It's the very first time I've split leveled. If you have done split leveling before and you know how to make the lighting correct in there, please let me know, because I hate how the flooring in here was a different color than the rest of the house due to the lighting problem when you do split leveling. So the color scheme that I went with this house was very brown, very black, white. Yeah, literally just those colors. Once I get to the kitchen, I put like this kind of bluish backsplash that I think came with Parenthood, and because of that backsplash, I do try to put more blue elements throughout the house. There is a fountain right here in front of the front door. Reason being because, like I said, I'm building from reference, and in the reference photo there was something by the front door and I just couldn't tell what it was, so I just put a fountain there from Spa Day. Now I'm in the kitchen. I used these Jungle Adventure counters that I think looked really well and really fit the style really well. It took me a while to get the orientation of the kitchen, but I do finally figure it out. I'm sorry if you're getting a headache from moving around so fast. I had to speed it up kind of quickly because I couldn't, because I was taking my time with this, and if it was, when I sped it up to like my normal time that I speed it up, it was a 36-minute long video. And I mean, let me know if you like longer videos and I'll start doing longer videos. But for this one, I just decided to go ahead and make it shorter. I wanted this little breakfast nook in there. I wanted it to have all 4 chairs, but it just didn't fit. This was another one of those builds where I kind of just jumped around. I'm trying to get better about doing a room, furnishing it, cluttering it up, finishing that room, and then moving on to the next. But for this build, I didn't have a whole lot of inspiration, so what I did was I furnished every room first and then kind of went back and cluttered things up. This wallpaper I thought looked the best for this style. I actually got the idea from watching Simlessy's video when she did a Japanese inspired home. She used the exact same wallpaper, I believe. And this is the backsplash that I was talking about. It did in fact come with Parenthood, and it's kind of bluey. It's not bluey's not a word, but it's bluish. It's got some like blue and navy blue and sky blue, whatever. So that's where like the blue came in. As you can see right now, I'm like trying to change up some of the colors to see if blue would work, and it wasn't working in other places. So I put a blue rug in front of the door, and then the son's room ends up being like it has blue in it. So I do imagine this being for 3 Sims, a couple and their son, their teenage son. I imagine that both of the parents are doctors. Both of them are doctors, and they expect their son to be a doctor too. Here's the thing. The son, I imagine him wanting to be an actor. And not only does he want to be an actor, but he's also gay. And I think that causes a lot of problems between him and his parents once they find out. Because I imagine, like, I actually am going to make this family in play in here, but I imagine that at first the parents wouldn't know, and they find out later, and then therefore it causes problems. But maybe they already do know that he wants to be an actor, and that is already kind of causing some drama between them. But the son, once you see it, when I get to his room, I clutter it with a hell of a lot of books. And I figured because, you know, the son would take his school seriously too, he just doesn't want to do what his parents want him to do. Real quick, that little cabinet thing that I put in that little small hallway, that was, I'm not sure what it came with, but I just figured it would be like a cloak. Cannot speak today. I just figured it would be like a coat closet or just something like that. So, for the little hallway. I used every single one of the paintings, like the one that's here in the living room with the blue one that has like the bamboo. I used every single one of those in every single swatch that it comes in. I'm pretty sure I didn't use every single one of the little skinny tapestry things that look kind of Asian-y inspired, but I used all the ones that weren't like bright and colorful. Speaking of, I meant to say this while I was in the kitchen since I used the Jungle Adventure counters. I literally just purchased Jungle Adventure yesterday, and I'm so glad I did, because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have half of the things I used for this build. A lot of the plants came from Jungle Adventure. The entire kitchen came from Jungle Adventure. Well, not the entire kitchen, but most of it. But mostly the plants. Yeah, definitely mostly the plants came from Jungle Adventure. And then everything else is, I used a lot of Island Living, and a lot of base game. I used the Moschino Stuff Pack windows because every reference photo I saw, they had like, there was a lot of windows, and they would have like those blinds over them that had like the lines through it, kind of like the little blinds kind of like the little dividers I put as like door screens. They had like those kind of lines on it, and then these Moschino windows were the best windows I could find that had like those lines in it. There are some that come from Get Together that have like the lines going through the entire window, but I didn't like the border of them. They were kind of too thick. The border was kind of thick, so I just went with the Moschino windows. Those are the only windows throughout the entire house besides the ones in the living room and then the 2 in the kitchen that are the long all glass ones, and those are the ones that come with Island Living. Okay, these paintings that have like the peacocks and stuff on them and all of that, those actually come from City Living. Because I think with City Living, they introduce like Indian style things. Not like Native American Indians, but India Indians. They introduced a lot of those kind of things in cast and in build. And so I assumed that that's what they were for, like based like for India and not Japanese, but they were the closest thing to, you know, Japanese decor. But again, each build will be distinctive in its build style and not so much its interior, that you'll still be able to distinguish, like, okay, this was his Japanese build, this was his India build, and all of this. There'll be a clear difference with the color schemes and all of that. Maybe not so much the items, but the colors, definitely. Like my India build is going to be super duper 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 colorful. There's going to be a lot of patterns and just, it's going to be extra. But I have started on the Sun's room. I'm not working on it currently right this second, but I was finding different items and I went ahead and placed them. Then I realized there was no bookshelf in the house, so that's what I just did. Now I'm back in the Sun's room. As you can see, I go with this bed from, I think it's Seasons, and I go with the blue swatch just to bring some more blue into the house. I do give him a desk. I figured his parents would really want him to have a desk in his room so he could, study and work on his homework and all of that. Speaking of desk and computers, I really wanted to put one more desk in a more family computer, so like not a laptop but an actual desktop computer. I wanted to do that, but there was just no room for one because I assumed with both the parents being doctors, they probably need a computer for, whether it's research or to work from home if they need to work from home. But I couldn't, there was just no place for it. In the parents' room, there is a spot that has a plant, and then there's a meditation like stool or whatever. You could remove those things and put a desk there. So if you download this house, you could, if you download this house and plan on going with like the same storyline, or if you just simply want a desk in the parents' room, you can put it there. Speaking of downloading it, my gallery ID is simply Coco94. I realize I never say that in any of my builds, but it is. Make sure you have on move objects when you place the lot, because I use move objects faithfully, just as I'm sure everyone else does. This is custom content free. Most of my builds are. Just sometimes I have to use custom content when I can't find what I need for whatever particular build I'm doing. But there's only been 2 custom content builds on my channel so far. But with this one, you're good. Now I'm doing the bathroom. There's 2 bathrooms. There's this one, which is right next to the Sun's room. It's the biggest bathroom because it holds a washing machine. Because another thing that I learned is that most Japanese homes, for whatever reason, I have no idea why, they only have washing machines in their homes and not dryers. So there is, as you can see, I just pulled out the clothesline and I just stick that on the side of the house. And another thing I learned is that the toilets are separate from the rest of the bathroom. So that's why there's another door that leads into the toilet's own little room. And then there's a smaller 2x2 bathroom next to the parents' room that just has a shower and a sink and then a separate toilet. I figured, they wouldn't be, upset about having the smaller bathroom because this bathroom had to double as the laundry room. You won't actually see me furnish the second bathroom. I literally copy and paste everything from this bathroom into that one. The things that fit anyway. So it looks the exact same color scheme and everything. Now I'm moving to I was about to clutter more things up, but then I thought to myself, well, no, they're doctors, they're Japanese, they probably don't like a ton of clutter everywhere. I figured they'd be the type of people that would, not Japanese people. So don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying Japanese people. I'm saying the Sims that I imagine living here, I feel like would be the type of people that would keep everything put away. They'd have, everything would have its place. And yes, the most clutter in this house is going to be in the kitchen. But it's not going to be messy clutter. It's just, again, everything's going to have its place. So they have their peppers over here. They have their things on top of the fridge. They have, you know, their dishwashing rack, bread box, cookbooks. Just it's clutter, but everything has its spot. I would say I do put that somewhere, the cereal box with the cans. I do leave it right there. And what I imagined it would be is like maybe the mom was cooking and she left the cans right there. And maybe the son came down and got some cereal and he left the box right there. But this is The Sims and that's not a usable object, so it's just gonna stay there forever. But then I realized this is a Japanese inspired home and there's no bonsai tree. So I do put one. I was gonna put two, but I just kind of rearranged some things and just put one in the living room. I felt like I needed something for this entrance area, but since there was this like indoor plant area, I didn't want to put like a table or anything right there and block it. So I just put that little egg looking chair that came from Island Living, and I was going to put a light there, but it just wasn't working and I didn't want to cover up the plant area. So I figured that would just be a spot, you know, if you wanted to grab a book and then go and sit there and enjoy, you know, the plants. That was just me fixing that because there was no floor. Now I'm doing the lights. I go with these lights, base game lights that really gave me the Asian vibe. I put them everywhere except for the bathrooms because when I did eventually do the smaller bathroom, it was cutting into the shower that I put in there. So I put these other ones in there. Now I've moved on to the outside. This is just like, it's not necessarily a backyard. It's just kind of like a courtyard that's to the side of their house. I did put a small little pond. You didn't see me actually build it because I was trying to decide what I wanted to put back here, or I was trying to decide what I wanted to put right here and I couldn't figure it out. So I kind of played around with it a little bit first and then I was like, okay, I'm not redoing this. So I just left it. But now you are seeing me put flowers around it. I put that little fish. I thought it was so cute. And then I do put a fishing sign there, so you can fish there. The only thing I didn't know is whether or not, I don't know if you have to click on the fishing. I don't know if you have to click on the fishing sign in order to fish there, or if you can just click on the water. I'm not sure. Excuse me, because at first I was going to hide the fishing sign in a rock, but then I thought, oh, maybe you have to click on the sign. So I just kind of put the sign behind the fish. You did see me kind of make a pathway up to the gate. Those stones are in the debug menu. Then I decided to put this small little seating area. Then I was like, okay, I was going to put a yoga mat in the parents' room. You may have seen that. You may don't remember because it's going so fast. But I went ahead and decided to put one out here with two more with two more meditation stools. Now I'm just putting some lighting around to make sure it lights up at night. And then I put this thing, but I just put one at the front over the gate. It didn't really make much sense because it didn't add anything, but I liked it. And the screenshot should be rolling, so sorry it was so long. I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.